The idea comes as more children are laid to rest, leaving their families waiting for answers from the ongoing investigation. Our Xavier Walton has more on the new developments coming to light. Xavier?
Tonight, as that investigation moves forward, more families said goodbye to loved ones, among them Eliana Torres. Her family says tonight, though, they are focusing on her, remembering her. That includes her little cousin.
The last thing she told me was, "Bye, Uni. See you tomorrow."
Eliana Torres and her 10-year-old cousin Unica were inseparable. And on the day that Eliana was laid to rest, that's what family wanted to focus on.
We want to remember her memory and what she loved. And, you know, we talk about her and we smile, not the terror that we faced on Tuesday. We want to remember her.
While they remembered the good, new information is being released about the...
Okay. Welcome back. I want to revisit something that I've touched on before on this live stream, because these people, these dog lovers, these dog companies, they need to be stopped. I'm dead serious, people. They have to be stopped. Something needs to be done. Someone needs to step in and tell these people to stop bringing dogs to the scene of a tragic accident, any accident, where lives have been lost. I am so infuriated that I need to get this off of my chest first and foremost before I deal with any other story and before I give my usual shout outs. But thank you all who's able to join me for this live stream. People, these people need to be stopped. Now, you heard this news broadcast. When there is a terrible, tragic accident, a mass shooting, in this case, children were shot dead by some lunatic. What is the atmosphere after something like this? Even if you've never experienced anything like this, you can imagine that after a tragedy like this, it is time to embrace each other. Reflect on how you should not take the presence of a loved one for granted. It is in these moments that people who haven't embraced each other in a very long time do so. People who've never embraced, who've never told one another that they appreciate having them in their life. These are the moments when things like that go on. It is a powerful moment of bonding and appreciation for life in general. And it is an insult to bring dogs onto the scene. If there's ever a time where people need to ignore dogs and leave dogs out of the picture, it is after a tragedy like this. That is so disrespectful, to bring dogs onto the scene after a shooting like this. It's disgusting. Flat out disgusting. And these lunatics, these soulless, feelingless lunatics need to be stopped. These people clearly have no soul. These are a bunch of zoinked out, numb individuals who don't have the slightest idea of how to appreciate life. Why on earth would we depend on people to uplift people's spirit? Why would you depend on a bunch of people who can't even properly appreciate human beings? In comes the same people, the same dog lovers who have created memes and made the most derogatory, insulting, evil comments about children. These same dog lovers are supposed to run to the rescue with their stupid, goofy, brainless mutts. That is so disrespectful. If you don't get that dog out of here, if you don't get those dogs out of here, what is wrong with you? We don't need no stupid dog. We have each other. What is your problem? Do you have a problem with other people embracing other people? Notice how these people show up with dogs when it's time for people to embrace other people. How many of you have reflected on how insulting and degrading this is? How soulless and disrespectful this is? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Are you out of your mind? You think now's the time for people to sit around and gawk over a dog? Let's reflect on this crime. The presence of these dog lovers with these dogs is an absolute crime, and it needs to be stopped.
This is grieving the loss of 19 children and 2 teachers after the shooting at Robb Elementary School. And as the community tries to heal, therapy dogs from around the country have made their way to Uvalde to provide emotional support. Brooke Schaefer joins us now live.
The emotional support comes from people. This is a time where people support each other emotionally. It's not often that you have moments like this. And the emotional support from other people in times like this acts as medication. And it's effective at a level dogs are not even effective. They may be somewhat effective only for dog nutters. I don't want to hear nothing about no mutt coming in providing nothing, especially not emotional support. Stop it. These lunatics, these soulless, numb lunatics need to be stopped.
Live, and Brooke, you got to meet some of these cute visitors. There's just nothing like a dog's love.
Look, now ain't the time to be using your imagination. Something very real just happened. And you want to convince people to pretend like a dog loves them? How disrespectful is that? How out of tune, out of touch with the energy of human beings could you possibly be? And it takes just that type of soulless, out of touch lunatic to bring a bunch of dogs around the people after a tragedy like this.
Yeah, I got to meet some of the dogs that are here to help out, as well as the volunteers that came down with them. One of the volunteers told me she really hopes this can be some comfort in the chaos.
We see emotion. We see crying, we see tears, we see shock, pain.
The pain palpable at this memorial just minutes from Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. 21 hearts, each with a name and notes from families devastated. In the middle of the grief, some temporary comfort.
Get out of here! If there was ever a time when dogs should be viewed as absolutely worthless and inappropriate. It is times like this. Times like this is when people who don't even know each other embrace each other. What is wrong with you numb, subhuman, trashy people? This is flat out what you are. Out of touch, numb, soulless, spiritless, trash level people. To disrespect the dead, disrespect the living, by trying to make dogs the highlight of an environment like this, you have got to be out of your mind. These people need to be stopped. I'm not kidding. And I'm telling you, they're going to pull this one of these days, and they're going to be rejected with the quickness, because our narrative, which is actually the obvious common sense truth, is going to catch on and go viral. And you brain dead, zoinked out dog nutters gonna bring your stupid mutts to an event like this after a tragedy like this, and you're going to be rejected. Maybe even more than that, for being so disrespectful and out of touch.
Try not to say too much because at this point there's not a lot to say.
Bonnie Fear is the Canine Crisis Response Coordinator for Lutheran Church Charities. She and a team of volunteers traveled to Texas.
Oh, and this is a church organization where you expected to be more spiritual and in tune with the souls of the people? Okay.
With blue and white crosses and some furry companions.
We did have a few people we met with yesterday that told their story. When the dog came up, they started talking.
Comfort in the chaos, she called it.
It brought me some comfort. Just took my...
What's wrong with the comfort from other people? What is this trying to turn people into people who depend on dogs for emotional comfort? As if comfort from other people is inadequate or incomplete, somehow dysfunctional. I don't want to hear this. This is coming from dog nutters who have been so out of touch with human beings for so long that even after a tragedy like this, they cannot be in touch with humanity in general. So they continue to go overboard with this subhuman behavior and lifestyle.
My mind off things for a bit.
Candy Esparza is
family. Take your mind off things. No, your mind should be on things. Even if it's just embracing other people. People were killed. Humans were killed, not dogs. Dogs have no place in an environment like this. What is wrong with you? I told y'all these people are brain dead, zoinked out just like they're brain dead dogs.
Friends with Ellie Garcia, one of the 19 kids shot and killed.
It brings comfort for them, but it doesn't change the way that they feel, because nothing can change what happened.
A dumb dog can't talk. A brain dead dumb mutt can't feel, is not a human, can't sympathize, can't relate to what the people are going through. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? And that makes them inadequate and inappropriate. They have no place in an environment like this.
It is time for the highs and lows of the week, and we thought we'd bring you only highs after this extraordinarily difficult week. Our first high goes to the country rallying through its shock and horror to support the shattered community of Uvalde, Texas. Less than 24 hours after the attack, the people of Uvalde themselves answered the call for a blood drive, lining up to help their neighbors. So many, in fact, some donors had...
See that? You see that? That's enough. That is enough emotional support. That's all the emotional support you need. Again, a dog is not even aware that anything took place. These are the times when you bond with people who understand what's going on. This is not the time to pretend as if the dog knows everything, to pretend that a dog is a human being. What is wrong with you?
Drive, lining up to help their neighbors. So many, in fact, some donors had to be turned away. Blood donations arrived from across the country as well, with Americans desperate to help however they could. Then came the therapy dogs, flown in by several organizations to bring some small measure of comfort.
In about 24 hours, people. They were brought in by dog nutters, and they were welcomed by dog nutters. Dog nutters who are out of touch with humanity. Let's just tell it like it is. Who spend every day of their life being disconnected from human beings, degrading children, calling dogs better than children. These are the people responsible for that. And boy, look at how they show their disrespect and disregard for children. After a bunch of children have been killed, they want to bring in the dogs, which they view as better than children. How disrespectful is that?
To the grieving South Texas town.
We'll see people smile when they see them.
People smile when they see each other. These lunatics who only see happiness with dogs because they can't truly connect with people and the emotions of people. They want to come down and force their dysfunctional mentality onto everybody. This is sickening. These people have to be stopped.
Or we'll see people cry. They just bring that calmness into the chaos.
Calmness into the chaos. This is so disrespectful. Got dogs right by the crosses, erected in memory of the victims. How disrespectful is that? A creature notorious for attacking people and killing people, primarily kids. You want to bring the only creatures on earth that attack and kill babies and kids. You want to bring those creatures onto a scene after a tragedy where kids were killed. How disconnected, soulless, and disrespectful could you possibly be? This is infuriating.
The dogs comforted mourners at a vigil.
They spend every day talking about how much dogs are better than kids. And then they come and force people, they're forcing these dogs onto people, onto kids. Primarily onto kids. Because most kids don't care about dogs.
On Wednesday before setting up all week outside of a civic center in town to provide emotional support.
What? No, again, what is this? Depending on dogs for emotional support. When you have people everywhere, the whole purpose of people gathering together is to provide emotional support for each other. No wonder you're so dysfunctional. And when it's time to provide emotional support or receive it, you can't do it. Because your big bright idea is to talk to a dumb dog that can't understand anything you're saying, can't provide emotional support for you. You cannot provide emotional support to a human being without using language, whether it be body language or actual verbal language. Dogs are not even receptive to our body language. They can't hug us. They can't embrace us. They can't rub our back. And they can't talk. And you claim that this is the emotional support? Get out of here. This is for a bunch of socially dysfunctional dog nutters who find themselves in an environment where they're supposed to bond and connect with other people who can't do it. So the big zoinked out lunatics panic and make a phone call to some nutter organization to bring dogs down there. Because they don't know how to embrace other people. And if they do embrace with other people, they don't feel satisfied. They feel awkward. They feel like they're being judged. Oh, bring me something that can't judge me. Not something that decides not to judge you. Something that's incapable of judging you. These sick people have to be stopped.
School staff and students, first responders, and families of the victims and survivors. Uvalde is going to need that comfort and support for a very long time to come. Our next high this week goes...
Shut up. Turning the future generation into a bunch of dysfunctional, zoinked out, brainless, soulless people. This is a crime right before our eyes. And these people have to be called out and they have to be stopped. They have to be stopped. That's right. You know what? I'm going to start doing this more often. As soon as the stream starts, I'm going to dive right into it. And I'll wait to the end to big up the crusaders in the building. That'll be better anyway, because more of them will pile in. How dare you? Put your dysfunctional mentality at the forefront. Nothing can make these people snap out of it and actually want to bond with people. Not even a tragedy like this.
These Central Florida comfort dogs are about to fly to Uvalde to visit grieving families there. Let's bring in Fox 35's Amanda McKenzie now, who joins us live.
Oh, look at that. What is he rubbing on? What is he rubbing on? How disgusting. You know, after a tragedy like this, if these people showed up to a gathering with my family, these people I would nip that in the bud. I'm not going to say what I do. But they would leave the premises if a bunch of nutters disrespected the lost loved ones like that by bringing a bunch of nasty, dumb, drugged up mutts onto the scene. They would get rejected real quick. bringing this zoophile behavior onto the scene. You're disgusting.
It's live out at Orlando International Airport, where, Amanda, we know that those dogs are going to be leaving on a flight in less than an hour.
That's right, and I got an opportunity to meet one of those crisis response canines named Macy with her owner and trainer, Bear Berman. He was saying that this is his first deployment while he's had a lot of experience taking the dog to the hospital.
This is after the Uvalde shooting. How disrespectful. So when do we make the dead, the victims, the highlight? They should always be the highlight, always be the focal point. At no point should dogs be the focal point of a gathering of people. No point. And anybody who co-signs with this, you're so out of touch with basic humanity. You should really be in a straitjacket. That's why I give the thumbnails to these videos that I do. You are a flippin' lunatic, a soulless, feelingless, emotionless lunatic. And it never dawns on them. At no point do they stop and say, man, you know what? Maybe we should just focus on the lost children. Why not bring souvenirs with the children, the victims, the child victims, with their names? Why not show up with t-shirts, get photos of the child victims, and then go down and have them put on t-shirts and arrive there with that? Why not do something to make the victims, to keep the victims in the center of attention? This is so subhuman. As if these lunatics just don't even know how to behave like human beings.
Hospital or to Pulse. This is the first time that they're going to be traveling to another state to assist in a tragic event like this. And the purpose of these dogs is to help bring some comfort and support to the community and first responders. So
help bring comfort and support. People, you cannot make this up. Now, I'm about to show y'all something real disturbing. And I think this video was uploaded just a few days ago. Watch this.
Is hanging out here this morning. We are so excited to have Dominic and his mom here. We have been talking with Dominic a little bit earlier. You may know Dominic from...
Look at the body language of this boy.
About a month and a half ago, he was severely burned, and he has recovered, and his recovery journey has just been incredible. Dominic, who's this right here?
Heidi.
So once again, this boy's whole face was in bandages for a long time. And as soon as his bandages come off and they can finally see his face again, they still don't want to make him the focal point. They still want the dog to be the center of attention. And they want the boy to participate.
And now he is calling Heidi his dog because you love her so much, right? What do you like so much about her?
This is what I'm talking about. When I talk about how they're forcing these dogs on the kids. This boy knows what the adults want to hear. He knows that they want him to gawk and act obsessed over this dog. How disrespectful and abusive is this? He finally comes out of his bandages. That boy wants to feel special right now. This is the problem. This is what I'm talking about. At these very moments, when kids themselves want to feel special, these dog nutters take that moment away from them and give it to a dog. Nobody's going to convince me that there's anything righteous or positive about this. This is abusive, and grossly disrespectful.
She listens.
She listens?
Look at that.
And
look at that. Dog Nutter, what are you getting out of this? Forcing this boy to act obsessed over this dog. What do you get out of this? That is so immoral, you immoral freaks.
She comforts you, right? She was laying on you. You were snuggling with her.
Listen to this. Listen to this lunacy. Coaching, trying to coach the boy to heap praises on the dog. This is as soon as the boy's bandages come off. He's a burn victim. How sick is this? Fellas, y'all got to get this in. Y'all got to put this in check. This obsession over dogs right here is the cause of a people's population decreasing. This needs to be outlawed. Outlaw, period. And anybody caught making dogs the center of attention needs to be punished.
She listens.
She listens. And she comforts you, right? She was laying on you. You were snuggling with.
Listen to that. Listen to this freak, zoinked out, disgusting, subhuman, trash behavior. How dare you abuse and coach this boy? So this boy, he's not allowed to feel special. He's not allowed to feel like he's the special one in the room, even after his face is finally being seen by the world. My God, this is unbelievable.
With her. Now, this is Dominic's mom, Maria. We have spoken with her in the past. Now, Maria, although he is doing amazing, the bandages have come off. Yes. He is thriving right now, but it hasn't been an easy journey.
No, not at all.
Talk to me about that.
So he's thrilled to have his bandages off, so are we. But there's, recovery still with, he can't go out and play in the sun this summer.
This boy ain't paying no attention to that dog. He knows that they want him to pay attention to that dog, but he don't want to. People, I'm telling you, he don't want to. This is flat out abuse.
No swimming outside in the pool or riding his bike for a very long period of time. So,
y'all see that? Look at the body language. Dog licked him in the face.
Or riding his bike for a very long period of time, so.
Which is a way that dogs beg for food. Face licking is a way that dogs beg for food. It's an instinct. Puppies are born doing that, trying to get its mother to regurgitate vomit so they can eat it. Look it up. And this boy tries to get away from it. This is flat out abuse.
Period of time, so obviously we could put sunblock on him and he can be out for a little bit, but
he still ain't looking at that mutt.
That new skin is growing in, so we don't want to damage that for the rest of his life. So.
And Dominic, how hard has that been, having to navigate, not playing out in the sun as much with the hot weather coming?
Really hard.
It's been really hard.
See, now they're trying to pretend as if the boy is the center of attention. If that were true, that dog wouldn't be there. What have I said for a long time, people? That the only way they can appreciate their kids is if a dog is beside them. Keep that close in mind. If you keep that close in mind, you'll see it everywhere you look. This is one of those moments where it is time for the boy to be the center of attention. And they can't do it. They still can't do it. And they know that This is the time where the boys should be the center of attention. But they can't do it unless there's a dog there.
What's been the hardest part about it?
She's asking them questions, and she's keeping her hand on the dog. Actions speak louder than words. She giving the boy words, but action with the dog.
I want to go outside and play with my brothers, but I can't because the sun.
Because the sun?
Yeah.
But you are recovering and doing such an amazing job. Tell me how it felt when you heard the news that your bandages were coming off.
Great.
It felt great. And does your face feel nice and cool now? You have a breeze on your forehead now. And you look amazing. You look incredible. I know last time we weren't even able, when I saw you last time, we weren't even able to take off the bandages because they just needed to be on constantly. And now look where you are. You are healing amazingly, and it looks incredible. I can't believe it. I'm trying to look at you, but I have Heidi in my way.
I'm trying to look at you, but I have Heidi in my way. Well, it's because you put that worthless mutt in the way. What's wrong with these people? Where they can't even bond and properly talk to a child. She had to bring the attention back to the dog. Y'all noticed that.
I know that you want Heidi here, though, because she's so special.
You hear what she said? I know you want the dog here. The boy did not request that mutt. He was in the hospital, and they just came in with a flipping mutt, like they always do. The kids don't know nothing about it. They'll catch cancer, be burned. He was a burn victim, whatever. They're in the hospital laid up, and in comes a nutter with a dog, forcing the dog on him. And she gonna sit here and say, I know you want the dog here. These people force dogs on the kids, people. This is the same thing they're doing in these schools. These people need to be stopped.
But I have Heidi in my way. I know that you want Heidi here, though, because she's so special. Mom, seeing Heidi here today, seeing his reaction, she was there in the hospital to comfort him. One of the first, yes. I think the first dog yes. to come comfort him. How does it make you feel?
It's amazing. She's so great. It's like she can sense that, you know.
People, did y'all see that? Body language. Body language. Body language. Listen to the question and then watch the boy's body language.
How does it make you feel?
It's amazing.
His reaction, because she's so special. Mom, seeing Heidi here today, seeing his reaction, she was there in the hospital to comfort him. One of the first, yes. I think the first dog yes. to come comfort him. How does it make you feel?
It's amazing. She's so great. It's like she can sense that, you know.
The boy started shaking his head no. Body language. It doesn't lie. I'm sure you all are familiar with it. This is unbelievable, people. And this was uploaded, like I said, a couple days ago or so. Fox 6, matter of fact, this is so disrespectful and abusive. I'm about to share a link to this exact video. Am I the only one that was disturbed by this? I just shared a link in the chat. Matter of fact, let me pin it. These people are out of their minds. They are plumb out of their minds. He started shaking his head no.
I think the first dog
yes.
to come comfort him. How does it make you feel?
It's amazing. She's so great. It's like she can sense that, you know, she knows he's strong, but she knows that,
Look at how he's ignoring that dog. How he's looking away from that dog. You clearly see he does not want to pretend to be obsessed with that mutant.
He's recovering and he's been through a lot.
Wow, did you see the look on his face as if to say, Mom, I'm sick of this dog. Get it out of my face. Look at the boy's face. Let me show you. Let me do this. Pay close attention.
He's strong, but she knows that, you know, he's recovering and he's been through a lot.
Y'all see that? She sees the expression on his face. This is one of those moments where you say, get that dog out of here. Get that dog out of here. I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry about that. They would never do that. They would never choose a child over a dog. That's why when the boy was laid up in the hospital, just like all these other kids, they still don't want to make those child victims the center of attention. So the first thing they do is bring in dogs. People, in all social settings where the kids themselves are supposed to be the center of attention, notice how those same settings, they're bringing dogs in the classroom. Who's supposed to be the center of the kids, the students? Hospital, dentist offices, libraries, where they're supposed to channel their energy and attention and appreciation on the kids. They can't do it. That's why they bring dogs into the picture.
Great. It's like she can sense that, you know, she knows he's strong, but she knows that.
That
you know.
dumb dog don't know nothing. This is another time where it's not time to be imagining things. Playing pretend. Pretend the dog is intelligent and it knows this and it knows that. Shut up. Man, if you don't get your zoinked out of my face. Lord, this is unbelievable.
So great. It's like she can sense that, you know, she knows he's strong, but she knows that, you know, he's recovering and he's been through a lot.
Unbelievable.
So it means a lot. She's a great dog.
And how is this?
Gawking over the dog. The dog is the center of the tension right now. Nobody can tell me this is not abuse. This is the abuse I've been telling y'all about. I've been talking about video after video. That these dog lovers are abusive to their kids. And in situations like this, these are the moments of abuse.
Whole experience brought your family together, because I know in times, in
he's still shaking his head no.
In times of difficulty, everyone bands together.
Notice how the adults are losing their composure. They're losing their composure because they see that the boy is not participating in gawking and praising this dog. He's not even looking at the dog. He's trying his best not to. This boy knows that right now they want him to act obsessed about this dog. Why? This is a burn victim.
Not only the whole community, I mean, people around the world have been helping you guys. And I haven't looked at the GoFundMe this morning, but the last time we spoke, it was nearly at $600,000.
Yeah.
What does that make you, how does that make you feel?
Grateful, like so grateful that we are.
He just shook his head no again. He can't stop doing that. He wants badly to say, look, y'all brain dead, zoinked out, get that dog out my face. Man, this is sad.
Yeah.
What does that make you, how does that make you feel?
Grateful, like so grateful that we are able to, you know, give them all, you know, a better life with, you know, a nice neighborhood, yard, home. So it's amazing. We're so grateful and thankful. Dominic, how you feeling? Good? Yeah? Are you excited to be able to have the bandages off your face? You're doing an amazing job.
See Heidi.
And see Heidi. And were you surprised? Did you know that Heidi?
See? The way she keeps her hand on the dog, that's her way of telling the boy, I want you to pay attention to the dog. Unbelievable.
Heidi was coming? Oh, good, because we said that this was going to be a surprise, but I wasn't sure.
The boy is still not paying attention to the dog. He paying attention to this little emblem. This boy is not obsessed over that dog. That's why I say it's not too late for the kids. It's not too late for the children. They can still be rescued from these nutters.
If mom and dad had surprised him, how does it make you feel to see his face just lighting up again? Having that, I mean, well, even through the hard times, he's been smiling.
Even through the hard times.
It's inspiring.
Yes. like I tell people all the time, not once did he cry in the hospital or complain. Where it was not easy for him.
Now, what does recovery look like moving forward? Because obviously we know now that there's certain things that he still can't do, but there's so much that he can.
There's a lot. We've already arranged to do a lot of indoor things, and still make what he could do outside, bring it inside. So we'll get.
That's so sad. This boy don't even know what it feel like to feel appreciated. He don't know what it feel like. He's never experienced actually feeling appreciated and loved. And you can see it all over his face. And these zonked out lunatics, they know full well they're incapable of making him feel that way. That's why they bringing a dog into the picture. That's why they obsessed with dogs. Because dogs are too dumb. This is why they say, oh, dog doesn't judge. It doesn't judge. Because you are a brain dead, zoinked out lunatic. And you want something that won't notice how much of a zoinked out, brain dead lunatic you are. That's what it is. That's what it is. Shut your stupid mouth. These crazy lunatics have to be stopped. We cannot continue to let these criminals onto the scene after tragedies like what we saw in Buffalo, like what we saw in Texas. There's no place for a flippin' mutt. Now, I went live earlier in the members area, and I talked about the nastiness of these disgusting mutant rodents. Why expose these kids to all of this? Why? The list of zoonotic diseases. How many of y'all ran across this article? This article surfaced just a few hours ago. Shout out to everybody who keeps up with the news along with me and people who send me information, tweets and whatnot. But just please understand that I be so into my own research that a lot of times I don't get around to checking all my emails and talking about them. Like I said, a lot of things that show up in my emails is stuff that I've already talked about or that I'm about to talk about in a live stream. How many of y'all seen this? 10 animals under the scrutiny of experts. Chimpanzee, gorilla, wild boar, horses, and dogs. Pay close attention to this. These animals currently possess viruses that could be responsible for the next disease of animal origin to infect humanity on a large scale. These animals possess viruses that could be responsible for the next disease of animal origin to the next zoonotic disease. And they basically said to be a pandemic. And they listed dogs in there. And people, I'm trying to tell you now, what they wanted to do was say dogs and dogs alone. But because dogs are so protected, they threw in these other animals. And I'm dead serious. Look at what it says. We cannot say where the next pandemic will come from, but around 10 species have a very large number of common viruses with Homo sapiens. A prerequisite for interspecies transmissions, explains this biological professor of biological sciences, University of Montreal, and the author of blah, blah, blah. With his colleagues from the UK and the US, the researchers used artificial intelligence to identify the animal species most likely to transmit viruses to humans that carry serious diseases known as zoonosis. We know that the coronavirus that caused COVID-19 is of animal origin, even if the species is not yet formally identified. Huh? What? Let's put that in red. That's hot. It has the animal responsible for COVID-19 has not been formally identified. And what have I been saying? It's coming from dogs. Just like the virus responsible for AIDS. Look, bats are believed to cause rabies and rats. Monkeypox. No. Look at this. Read this. A capital element is the promiscuity that we maintain with certain species. Okay? The capital element is the promiscuity that we maintain with certain species. Am I pronouncing that right? Promiscuity? Look at this. And this is in quotations, people. This is what the professor actually said. He said, although we have many genetic links with chimpanzees and gorillas, few humans come into contact with them on a daily basis. On the other hand, the dog is an animal that has shared the intimacy of humans since the dawn. People, again, they wanted, and they actually mean dogs and dogs alone. But they did not want to single dogs out. This is exactly what I've been saying for months now. That these zoonotic diseases are not coming from these other animals. They are coming from the animals that you have most contact with. And with the dog, which is a lot different from cats, they're filthy, nasty, disgusting. The dirtiest creatures on the planet. You heard what this scientist said. The dog is the animal that has shared the intimacy. People exchanging bodily fluids with dogs. Nobody out here being licked by chimpanzees and gorillas. Nobody out here walking around with chimpanzee and gorilla saliva on them, excrement on them, urine on them. Where do you think these zoonotic diseases are coming from? Does this mean that the next pandemic could come from man's best friend? Notice how they sort of segued into exclusively talking about dogs. That's because that is what they've been referring to the whole time. And you want to bring this filthy, disgusting creature around kids? How sick could you possibly be? Here's another article that surfaced a few hours ago. Talking about dogs can detect COVID-19 better than rapid tests. Trying to push dogs off as something that we need in society. Canine detection could serve as an alternative to traditional tests. Trying to push these filthy, disgusting, disease-ridden mutants off as medicine. They are trying their hardest to do that. Unbelievable stuff. This is unbelievable. Now, what is this? How do I stop my dog from barking at people coming up to my house? Expert advice from a top trainer, Ben Randall. I'm going to put that name in a hashtag. I want him to hear this video as well. Look at what he said in this article. He said the main cause of today's problem, which has some things in common with dogs barking at the doorbell, is anxiety. Dogs bark at you because they're full of anxiety. No, it's because they are violent, mutated, bloodthirsty predators. Overly aggressive. That's why they bark at you. Look at what he said. This is from a top expert, a top trainer. He said a dog who barks at passersby feels that the front garden or driveway is an area that they're supposed to dominate and protect. That's another lie. Saying that the dog is simply trying to protect its territory. That's another lie. We just watched a few weeks ago, dogs leave their territory. They do it all the time. It's not a case where they're trying to protect their driveway that they are currently standing on. No, they see something in someone else's territory far away in the distance, and they run. They leave their territory to attack them. Case closed. Top trainer Ben Randall has been debunked. No effort. That's easy work. The film makes it easy to debunk these people. The actual cases, the details of the attacks is never in sync with the rhetoric that comes out of their mouth because they don't want to openly admit what we actually see on film and read in these stories. That a dog simply saw you and wanted to hurt you. That's all it is. They see you and want to attack you. And you want to bring these things around kids and teach them, condition them to view these things as harmless angels that they should welcome with open arms and physically hug even. Look at this. This story surfaced about 8 hours ago. Dog owners warn not to share beds with dogs amid spread of untreatable superbug. And you're going to bring these mutts into schools, around kids, around babies. You want to bring these things around kids who recently had bandages removed from their face and body? You flipping lunatics. What a bunch of lunatics. I'm not being nice to dog lovers, not on this video. Says dog owners, people, notice how they in the title, they try to use the word pets. But they're only talking about dogs. Dog owners who regularly allow their dogs to share their bed are being urged to stop. The MCR1 gene, which is believed to be transmitted from dogs to humans, has built up a resistance to certain life-saving drugs. It was first identified in China, 2015, and is transported from dogs to humans through microscopic fecal particles. Where and how are people coming into contact with microscopic fecal particles, people? It's coming from the dog dander. The microscopic dog dander that literally floats in the air that we breathe. Currently, drug-resistant infections are responsible for killing about 700,000 people a year worldwide. Drug-resistant infections. And they are telling you about one in particular that's coming from dogs exclusively. Don't you think it's safe to assume that there are a lot more? They say this number could rise to 10 million by 2050. From 700,000 to 10 million in less than 30 years. It's all coming from dogs. And they want to push. So, I mean, you could pay no attention to the fact that dogs are the cause of a decrease in the white American population and deal with this information alone. And this is enough to warrant exterminating dogs. This is more than enough. These things are beyond dangerous. And you got people exchanging bodily fluids with these mutants, then going around touching and kissing human beings. These people should be quarantined. They should be isolated from the general public. Unbelievable. You want to bring unbelievable. These people, I'm telling you, this is unreal. Wait a minute, can y'all see this? Okay, whew, I got nervous there for a minute. I almost thought y'all couldn't even see what I was talking about. I do that sometimes. I got to stay on top of my game here. Now I'm about to change my screen again because I want y'all to see this. There's another article surfaced a few hours ago. Nebraska Humane Society has more than 100 dogs up for adoption. But they always have a whole bunch of mutts up for adoption because they can't get people to keep them. Reality slaps these people across the face too often. Right? That's what happens. Check this out.
Tells that the Nebraska Humane Society has many dogs need a new home. Our Brendan Taverdi shows us why the NHS has seen an uptick in dogs and what's being done to encourage people to adopt.
It's an unusually high number. The Nebraska Humane Society has 111 dogs up for adoption.
Don't you want to bring one of these home?
Society has 111 dogs up for adoption.
Wouldn't it be nice to bring one of these home so it can mutilate your babies, your kids? Don't you want to terrorize your family? Don't you want disgusting germs and diseases, bacteria in your home too? Don't you want incessant barking? A mutt always invading your space and begging for food? Don't you want this around you too? No thanks. No thanks. This mutt threatening the cameraman, as always.
Summer is one of the busier times.
Something got to be wrong with you.
11 dogs up for adoption.
Something got to be wrong with you to look at one of these mutants barking and want to take them home with you. You're out of your mind.
Summer is one of the busier times at NHS because the weather is warm enough for some dogs to wander off from their homes. While many have returned, some were never claimed. But there may be more happening here. More people are looking on the NHS website than in person, unaware that the adoption facility is 100% open and not getting the one-on-one experience.
You can totally do it all electronically, but you can also come in person. And I think that people aren't doing that as much as they used to. Everybody's buying groceries online and people are getting food delivered. And so I think that we're out of practice with that.
People are encouraged to use both resources when it comes to online and in person, but the Humane Society would really like to have people come in person.
We want people to, because I think that you get a different sense of a pet when you see them in person and you're watching them wiggle waggle.
Oh, man. Make it stop, make it stop. Watching them wiggle waggle. Huh? Go to the shelter so you can see them activate scent glands inside their anus and release it and use their tail to spread the aroma. You know, that tail wagging is so much more disgusting once you know what the dog is doing. Once you find out the purpose behind tail wagging, you can never look at it the same. It's not some meaningless, pointless, body language. The mutant is actually activating scent glands inside of its anus, and it gets released whenever it wags its tail, and wags its tail to help spread the odor. Who in the world would want to own something like that?
And you're seeing their face than you do from a photo.
A variety of dogs is ready for adoption, whether they're good with kids, elders, or in between. Caitlin Lewis already owns 2 dogs. She is searching for a new one to join their family.
What?
She is searching for a new one to join their family.
Okay.
We're just kind of looking around, seeing about getting another dog for my daughter here to grow up with.
Getting another dog for my daughter to grow up with. For what? Daughter don't need no dog. What's the point in, for what? All you're doing is endangering your daughter. That's all you're doing. Bring that mutt home and hope that it don't mutilate your daughter. I don't even think they're doing that. A mutilation is not even on these people's minds. It can't be. Or else they get too paranoid and they wouldn't own it. They truly look at these dogs as harmless Scooby-Doo angels that won't attack. Or, some of them might be actually hoping that the dog attacks their baby so that they can set up a GoFundMe and get a bunch of money.
They're here to grow up with and just taking a look at what's available.
Lewis has no specific dog.
And she's holding her hand out to a fully grown pit bull. Her idea is to adopt a grown pit bull and bring it around an infant. Of course, you cannot expect people like this to bond with other human beings after a mass shooting. Of course, people like this would bring dogs around the families of the victims 24 hours after the mass shooting. The kid's body's not even cold yet, and they're bringing dogs around. When these people show up, you have to reject them. These people have to be stopped. Not on your life. Are you crazy? Let no grown pit bull from a shelter come around your baby. You have got to be out of your mind. Her child should be taken from her. This is more than enough evidence.
Breed in mind, but does have one requirement.
She know full well that there's a possibility that that dog could mutilate her baby. She knows full well. So what is going through these people's mind? It has to be, well, I'll take the chance. I'll take the chance anyways. What is that? A sacrifice. I'll sacrifice my child's safety anyways. This is a child sacrificial cult full of a bunch of sick people. They're not well.
Definitely reading which ones are great with kids and other dogs, so I know that takes some out, but just looking for that one for us.
And her reaction to the 100+ dogs up for adoption, she's encouraging others to help these dogs out.
People should definitely get out and look and see and open their hearts and their homes to a pet, and dogs are great.
Open their hearts and homes because dogs are great. No, woman. Dogs are biting 14,000 people every single day here in the United States alone. That's what's going on. Over 1,000 children alone in the ER every single day. That's what's going on. Open their hearts. If you're talking about dogs, the way you show that you have heart,
dogs are great. So
in regard to dogs, the only way that you can show that you have heart is to euthanize them. That is a demonstration of a human being with a heart. One that says, I will not own one of these things, and you may as well euthanize it. But no, they want to play Russian roulette. These people are so out of touch with basic humanity that it's hard to believe. It truly is hard to wrap my head around it, even though I've been seeing it and dealing with it now for years. This level of subhumanity is just hard for me to wrap my head around. Unbelievable. It's just truly unbelievable. Here's another story that surfaced a few hours ago. Depraved man sentenced for having sex with a dog and filming it. This took place in South Africa. Authorities found sexual images featuring girls as young as 13 and videos of inappropriate acts with dogs and horses on his phone. These are the types of people who show up after a mass shooting with dogs, telling you that you should rub all over them. Let me show y'all something else. Something else that made me upset. Where is that video? Let me see if I can find this. It looks like I may have misplaced, but you don't want to miss this. You don't want to miss this. Let me see.
There are in Uvalde today as students and staff at schools across the nation try to come to grips with this unthinkable.
Is this it? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Brace yourself, people. Brace yourself. As always. And there's one actually worse than this that I'm looking for here.
Across the nation try to come to grips. There are therapy dogs that arrived in Uvalde today as students and staff at schools across the nation try to come to grips with this unthinkable tragedy in Texas. There is one school here in Palm Beach County that had extra support already on campus.
That's right. Only on 5 tonight, WPTV News Channel 5 Stephanie Suskind shows you this member of the school family has a unique gift needed right now more than ever before.
Here at Forest Hill High School, there are more than 2,300 students on campus, but there's one who brings happiness
These Central Florida comfort dogs are
wherever she goes. Meet Miss Ellie Mae.
Usually I'll hear it on the radio. Heidi, bring Miss Ellie Mae here, bring Miss Ellie Mae there. Between staff and students, she has helped both. Ellie, go say hi.
School treasurer Heidi Wakowski is Ellie Mae's owner.
Good girl.
But this certified therapy dog really belongs to the whole school.
I came in one day with the dog here and I was like, why is there a dog here?
Gabby Killingsworth is one of Ellie's biggest fans.
The warmth of her body just like makes me relax a little bit and makes me think, oh, I'm going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine.
It's that connection that Principal Esther Rivera knew was needed.
Ellie Mae has been phenomenal on this campus.
After a year of COVID, a high rate of absences and emotional struggles.
And I came to her and I said, would you be interested in getting us certified to be a service dog and come to work with you every day to assist our students?
And Ellie Mae is making a difference.
Our fights, our altercations have decreased dramatically. We really don't have disciplinary issues here, and additionally, students requesting help has increased.
Ellie Mae, she saw me crying, and all she did, she got her little lamb toy and she brought it to me, and she just jumped on me saying, you know what, I'm here for you to change your world and make you forget about what's going on at home.
Those moments can change the course of a day,
God.
a week.
Stop. We are creating a future generation of brainless, thoughtless, emotionless, numb, zoinked out lunatics. Straight up zombies. We got to stop embracing this. This has to stop. This is so out of touch with reality. I can hardly put it into words.
Lamb toy, and she brought it to me, and she just jumped on me saying, you know what, I'm here for you to change your world.
Imagining this make-believe. Dog ain't saying none of that. It's not thinking none of that. What's wrong with dealing with reality? They act like there's something wrong with reality, dealing with what's real.
It to me, and she just jumped on me saying, you know what, I'm here for you to change your world and make you forget about what's going on at home.
Those moments can change the course of a day, a week, even a school year.
I have crippling anxiety where I shake a lot during class, or even normally I will be shaking. And so Ellie Mae helped me a lot, and I would go to her just to find comfort.
And as we come to grips with
big dumb mutt does nothing. Dogs do nothing. I'm sick of all these lies. I'm just sick of all these lies. Talking about dogs do this and dogs do that. Dogs don't do nothing. And these people just insist on bringing these things into every single public setting. It's disgraceful. I mean, this is utterly disgraceful. These people need help themselves. What we're dealing with is a bunch of people who need help. And they are pretending to be the people who are coming to help you. That's literally what we're dealing with these people. A bunch of sick people who have no business playing the role of a savior. Talking about coming to help you ease your depression and anxiety. I don't need no psychopath, no sociopath up in my face with a worthless mutt trying to convince me that it's in my best interest to rub on it, to talk to it. These people are plumb out of their minds. There was this one other, and I can't find it. I can't find it. And I'm kind of disappointed about this, because it was a very disturbing, zoinked out. I mean, it was so zoinked out. Where they brought these dogs, these worthless mutts down there to Uvalde. I've been pronouncing it wrong for a while. I was saying Uvalde, but it's actually, okay, a lot of people spell it wrong. You know, some people have been spelling it Uvalade. But here it looks like they tried to spell it right. But there's a very disturbing video somewhere around here, and I can't find it, and I'm very disappointed. And I mean, it put this dysfunctional dog nuttery on full display. I mean, and in all of its glory. As soon as I find it, I know I'm going to find it. I'm going to share it with you all. But this is scary stuff. Here it is right here. Here it is right here. Check this out.
All little Mia sees is a dog. A 7-year-old golden retriever named Cooper.
Okay, now they're forcing this child to rub on this dog.
All little Mia sees is a dog. A 7-year-old golden retriever named Cooper.
See how calm he is? He's letting you pet all over him.
Did y'all hear that? That old man said, see how calm he is? He's letting you pet all over him. What? Okay, it's calm because it's drugged up. Yeah, it's letting you pet all over him because it's drugged up. And this child does not look like she's having fun rubbing on this dog. This shaggy, dirty looking dog. And I'm quite sure they're not sanitizing this nasty mutant.
Retriever named Cooper.
See how calm he is? He's letting you pet all over him.
Boy, oh boy. This is sickness. This is brain damage on a different level. This is a different dimension of nuttery. These are the people who come bringing therapy dogs after tragedy. This is one of those groups, people. See the title? Therapy dogs, handlers, help, Uvalde. Where's this child's parents? See how calm he is? Letting you rub all over him. Kids, don't be afraid to say, I don't want to touch it. It's nasty. Dogs are dangerous. That's all you have to say. No. Dogs are dangerous. Dogs are dangerous. If they say no, they're not, you say they attack kids every day. They kill us every day. They attack us every day. No, I don't want to touch it. It's got germs. It's dirty. Just state simple facts and reject the dog. Because what they're doing is trying to make the dog the center of attention rather than you. That is what they're doing. It's a form of abuse, of rejection. This is their way of rejecting your very presence. Because they're too inhumane to make you the center of attention. You, the child, is a reflection of themselves. So, at its core, this is a problem that these people have accepting themselves.
But Cooper is a national crisis response canine.
Look at this child. This is not voluntary. You can tell it's not voluntary. This is a case of a child being forced to do this. Now let's see what he has to say.
That human canine bond to help break through and build resiliency.
That is so disrespectful. They're down there at Uvalde. You see the flowers and the balloons and stuff in the background. This is so inhumane and disrespectful.
Sometimes an animal has more sense than a human.
Sometimes an animal has more sense than a human. The only humans dogs have more sense than is dog lovers. Because the dogs won't let predators around their young. But you dog lovers are dumb enough to do exactly that. So you got a point there, Cruz. Sometimes a dog got more sense than a human. Those humans are dog lovers. No dog got more sense than me. Speak for yourself. Speak about yourself.
Mia's grandfather, Adolfo Cruz, says he brought Mia to the memorial at Uvalde's town square.
I had driven by several times
To visit this cross, Eliana Cruz Torres, Mia's cousin, Adolfo's granddaughter.
This is about these kids who were victims who have died. Why are you making dogs the center of attention? Is there a purpose? What's the purpose? If you want to uplift people's spirits, then talk about the lost loved ones, the victims. You want to talk about a dog? What is wrong with these people? This is zoinked out brain dead behavior on a whole different level. I saw this coming years ago when I was young. I saw it, but it was nowhere near this bad.
All right, she's too small to understand.
Too small?
Child's now, she's not too small to understand that kids were killed, were shot. The dog is too dumb to understand. That's why it has no business there. And you have no business making dogs the center of attention in a time like this. What's the matter with you? It's times like this when you make the kids the center of attention. Instead, you want to bring dogs around and force dogs onto those kids. Because you too inhumane to make them feel special. So you have to have a dog there. This is a major epidemic in this country. These flipping mutts.
Too small to understand maybe, but not too small to feel what is happening in Uvalde.
The grief here is very palpable. I mean, it's extensive.
Lutheran Church Charities Canine Comfort Dog Ministry is...
And this is coming from church organizations. People who's supposed to be the most in tune with human energies and emotions, with the spirit. And they're the most inhumane.
Is one of several volunteer groups helping the town heal.
It's just gonna take time.
Some with therapy dogs, some with trained crisis dogs.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. A big dumb dog that can't talk, can't understand nothing, has no idea that a bunch of kids were killed, and you telling me that these are the primary entities that kids should interact with, that people in general should interact with? Man, oh man, this feels good. It feels good to mutilate this dog lover culture. They deserve every bit of criticism that I give them. Shout out to, I missed the super chat. My apologies. I missed a super chat. I was rambling here. Big shout out to someone in the super chat. Big shout out to everybody who's able to join me for this Sunday rant. Right? I had to get this off my chest. I don't know why I keep doing this to myself. I research this information, I get fired up, and I gotta get it off my chest, right? Big shout out, Serena, Great Pumpkin, right? I Hate Dog Owners, aka Google user, that's right. Anti-Mutt Nutter in the building. Shout out to you, Alien Drone Services, ABQ Girl, Jarara the King in the building once again. Right? The Stars in the building, Embrace Within, Iowa X, Benjamin, a lot of people in here. Cecilia, Anti-Mutt Nut in the building, Toxic Paw Print, Joe Maybe, and any and everyone else I may have forgotten. Charles D. Curry in the building, Yusuf Mambo in the building. People, we have to take a stand against this nuttery. These people are getting far too comfortable with bringing dogs to each and every event, anywhere people are. And it's past time we spoke out against it. We have to reject these people, put them on the spot, and especially call them out when they're doing something this disrespectful and inhumane. while they're claiming to be the most humane people in the room. This is beneath subhuman behavior. Again, not even animals are this stupid and uncivilized. Let's hope we can have an impact a lot sooner than later. Shout out to everybody who's able to join me, and I hope to see you all on the next live stream as we continue with this crusade.